What's up guys, Ryan here from MudGunner, and today I have some cool guns to show you. It is officially October, should be cooling down, but it's not here in Arizona. It's still going to be over 100 degrees every single day this week, but to those of you in cooler weather, that's nice. And to the East Coast, I'm sorry that you guys are dealing with that hurricane. I've seen all the videos and that's insane. So yeah, just crazy times out there. But yeah, we are going to talk about some gun stuff today. So I figured since it's October, it is also Glocktober. That is the thing. I thought of this video idea because my friend Danny posted her Glocks and she has a pretty cool collection. So today I figured out I would show you my Glocks. I said Glocks. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, today I figured I would show you guys my Glocks and yeah, we'll just show you that. So we're going to talk about the very first one I ever bought, which was a Glock 34 Gen 4. So I bought this back in like 2015, I think, and yeah, it was my very first handgun, and I chose the Glock 34 because at the time it looked like John Wick's handgun from the first movie. The first movie came out in like 2014. I think I bought this in 2015, and then the second one, he was actually running a Glock 34. So I thought that was pretty cool. At the time, I didn't know as much about guns, but he was running an HKP 30L in the first movie. But I'm like, oh, this is a long handgun, like what he would use. So it was pretty cool to see that he actually used one. So this is a 34 Gen 4. It's an MOS, so it's cut out for a red dot. Basically, the only thing I've added is a Trijicon RMR and a Surefire X300. Other than that, it's all stock. You'll notice on most of mine, they are mostly stock, not completely, but yeah, I really don't change too much on my handguns. For those of you that watch my channel, I'm much more of a rifle guy than a handgun guy. I do like handguns. I have a few handguns, but I just don't do as much to them. But they look cool. If you guys want to see some really cool Glocks, check out my friend Danny's page. It's Danny__EDC. She does some really cool stuff to her Glocks, but yeah, mine are all very plain Jane looking. My main handgun that I shoot is the Shadow Systems, which kind of looks like a Glock and it's a clone of a Glock, but that's the main handgun that I use. So, but I am still a Glock fanboy. I like them and I think they are very reliable out of the box. It tends to be the least reliable ones are the ones that have the most parts changed, which makes them not as much of a Glock. So just know that if you keep it stock, they're gonna run forever. If you change everything on it, then it's not necessarily Glock's fault that it doesn't work anymore. So yeah, I really like my 34. This was also my competition gun for quite a while until I got the Shadow Systems. I don't do as many competitions as I used to, but like just weekly range matches, so nothing too crazy, but yeah, it's a very good gun and I highly recommend it. I like it a lot. So, and it looks sick with the X300 on there. It's a very bright 1000 lumen flashlight. So, yep, that was my very first handgun ever. And I'll put the mag back in it. Where'd I put it? Oh, it's right here. I'm blind. What are we going to talk about next? We will talk about this one next. I don't remember if this was my second Glock or not, but this one's pretty cool. So, it's a stock 19 Gen 4, but what makes this one cool is look at the top. So this is the Navy SEAL Foundation Glock. They came out with it, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years ago. There's only 1,000 of them out there, and this is number 30 of 1,000. So I'm hoping you guys can see it okay. But it's got a Navy SEAL trident inlaid in the top, and then it's got this like high polished finish on the top. So very cool. It's kind of just a collector Glock, but I have shot it. I have no issue shooting it, but I don't shoot it anymore because I have other 19s and stuff that looks like it. So yeah, that's just a very cool little design on there, and I like it a lot. And at the time they were like $750 brand new. Anytime you want like a custom gun like this, you're gonna pay probably $100 to $200 more than a standard Glock. Like standard Glock 19 Gen 4s at the time were like $550. This was like $750. I knew I wanted it though, and I thought it was really cool at the time. And now they're probably about 1,000. So it's kind of hit or miss as to what will go up in value and what doesn't. But there was one that came through our store this year as a transfer. That one sold for like over $1,000 on Gunbroker. So if you know you want something cool when it comes out, just get it. I mean, especially if it's limited. But yeah, other than that, stock 19 Gen 4, it's nothing special, but it's pretty cool to me. So Glock 19. And then we have this one. It's a Glock 19X. Now this one tends to be the one that gets the most round shot through it because I run it suppressed. It's just a factory 19X, but I did change it to a Gemtech barrel. Now they have their own MOS series with optics cut, sort of barrel, whatnot, but yeah, they didn't do that for a while. So all I did to this one was put a Gemtech barrel on there and a Streamlight TLR1HL, and it shoots great. And I know it doesn't have suppressor sights, but you could still shoot pretty accurately with just the iron sights. You're basically aiming with your iron sights, staring at the suppressor, but as long as you put it on the target, which the targets I'm shooting at are like big paper targets, you're gonna hit. So works very good. I tried an Agency Arms barrel that was gold because I thought it looked way cooler, but that one wasn't running properly, so I went back to the Gemtech barrel. Again, when you change parts on there, you may not make it as reliable as you think, but the Gemtech barrel runs pretty well on this, and it's pretty fun to shoot suppressed. I want to get another 19X that I keep stock other than a TLR7 on there. It's a smaller light, and I want to run that in my chest rig because my chest rig has two Glock 19X mags. So I think it'd be cool to have a dedicated pistol on my chest rig, like right here. That way you just throw it on. It's got 4 rifle mags, 2 pistol mags, and a 19X on it. So then I don't have to carry a belt setup with a Glock on it. I would just have one on the chest rig. So that is something I want to do in the future, but I'm not going to do it to this because that means I wouldn't do the threaded barrel or this light. I'd have to go smaller light. So yeah, 19X. And then the biggest Glock I have right now is my Glock 20 Gen 4. Now this one's cool because it's a factory flat dark earth finish. So the frame is just a dark earth mold, so it's not Cerakoted, but then it's got a flat dark earth slide. So this came, maybe not from the factory that way, but it was like another special edition, but I don't know exactly when they did it. So this is my only 10 mil Glock, and it's my only 10 mil handgun as of right now, but it shoots really good and I like it. It'd be kind of a cool hunting handgun. I will probably hunt javelina again next year, and I might take this, I don't know. But it could definitely get the job done. I've just never hunted with a pistol before, just ARs. So yeah, pretty cool handgun. And yeah, biggest Glock I have. Speaking of big Glocks is my friend Danny. She has a bigger Glock collection than me, and she has a bigger than me. I said Glock, come on. Yeah, she has the Glock 17L, which is even longer than the 34. So yeah, crazy. But I want the 17L too. It's like a ½ inch longer than the 34. It's obnoxious, but it's cool. But yeah, 2 big Glocks. I know there's a lot of dirty jokes in here, guys, but bear with me. Next up, we'll talk about this one. This is my carry Glock. So I got this sometime, I think mid or late last year, and this has been my main carry gun since then. I don't change my carry guns too often. The main ones that I have are, I have my Smith & Wesson Shield. It's a Gen 1 with an Apex trigger and HD night sights, and then a Tier 1 concealed holster. That's been my main one for years, like 6 or so years. And then winter carry, as it gets cooler, I can wear a jacket. I tend to run my shadow systems a lot more just because I get a bigger handgun with more capacity. It's got a light and a red dot. This one, I bought it basically as the setup, did not come with a light, but it's a Glock 43, and this one's a Langdon Tactical decked out one. So they do a trigger job. I forget who makes the trigger. It's either Timney or Apex. Again, I'm not as much of a handgun person, guys, so I like them, but yeah, this just came to our store this way, but it was done up by Langdon Tactical, so it's got blackout sights, but it's got a rear iron sight in this Trijicon RMR CC, and this slide was milled specifically for that. It's chambered, so I'm not gonna point it out myself, but yeah, it's got a rear iron sight in the RMR CC, which is pretty cool. It's got the trigger job, it's got my YouTube channel engraved on it, Mud Gunner, and then it's got the Langdon Tactical logo up top, and it's running Terran base pads, Tier 1 concealed holster with a spare mag, and then I always carry another spare mag in my pocket. Basically any gun I carry, I always have 2 mags on me. I mean, these are only 8-round mags, so they're not like great, but I'm running Federal HST, so yeah, I got 8 plus 1, so 9 plus 8 plus another 8. But even if I'm carrying my shadow systems, I still carry a spare 17-round mag in my pocket, so just how I like to run it. But yeah, so far I like it. It's not like the most iconic, great gun out there. The mag for me is a little tough because if I don't release my pinky all the way off it, sometimes the mag gets hung up because like just the pressure from my hand. So I think I will like a bigger gun more at some point. I'm actually thinking about the SIG macro just because 17-round capacity and a little bit bigger. But I do like Glocks, and the mag issue that I've had, and you guys could watch it on some of my shooting videos with this, it's not a gun fault, it's just the way I grip it. Because if I'm holding it tight and I don't fully release my bottom of the hand, like that magazine will get caught like this. Like I press the mag release and it'll just hang up, especially when it's empty. So just know if you carry a gun that's small, sometimes reloading is going to be slower because again, that magazine will get caught. But yeah, I do like it as a carry gun, shoots good. I'm pretty accurate with it. So we got everything there. I have a couple more to show you. So these are my battle belt setups. This is the absolute main one that I run, and most of the time I will run my shadow systems in it. But at home, I keep my shadow systems in this holster because if I want to put it on, it's just easier. But I like having something in this belt. I keep a Glock 17C in here. So I will unload this one because I want to show you guys. So also running Federal HST. And yeah, it's a Glock 17C. It's a Gen 4. C just means it's got a compensated barrel and slide, which is pretty cool. Glock 17 Gen 4 compensated. And other than that, it's got Ameriglow night sights, and it's got a Streamlight TLR1 HL. You'll notice I run a lot of Streamlights because they're good. They're 1,000 lumen lights. At times, they're not as bright as Surefires. Like, they seem to get dim the more you use them. Like, I'll show you this real fast. This is my shadow systems. Look at how dim this one is. And those are fairly new batteries in it. So they do get really dim, but this light has about 11,000 rounds on it with this gun. So it's got a lot of abuse on it. But other than that, the Streamlights do work really well, and they take that abuse from the muzzle, like hitting them. So this one, it's got some muzzle blast up here, but it's still very bright compared to my other one. So yeah, the 17C is cool. It's a little bit less recoil than a standard Glock. I notice comp guns are becoming such a big thing, and I think it's still very important to be able to shoot a normal handgun. Like this is not comped at all. It's got basically nothing done to it. I think the triggers are lighter out of a box than a Glock, but most of my handguns, I like shooting stock handguns because handgun is the hardest skill in guns, in my opinion. It's easier to learn rifle, it's easier to learn shotgun. Handguns are the toughest to shoot. So if you stay on top of being able to shoot a normal handgun with no trigger job done, no crazy sights or anything, you'll stay a pretty proficient handgun shooter. But if you get so stuck on, I need a 2011 with a comp, with 147 grain subsonic ammo, and that's all you can shoot, and then you go to a standard 9mm, you're gonna have a bad day. Or you'll get outshot by someone that has more training on a normal gun than you. So I think it's important to be able to shoot a normal handgun. But nonetheless, this is a comped Glock. It shoots pretty nice. I don't know percentage-wise how much less it is than a standard Glock, but I'd say it shoots pretty good, and I like it. So I leave this one in this battle belt, but then when I actually run with this battle belt or like do drills or matches or anything, I'll stick this in there. So again, my Shadow Systems MR918. And then I do have this one right here. This is kind of a belt in progress. The mag pouches are not what I want to run on there. I actually want more of these mag pouches, which are the G-code ones. They're just expensive, so I'm waiting for a sale or something. But yeah, so this is a T-Rex Arms holster on a Orion belt, and this one I'm running just a stock 19 Gen 5, because again, it's good to run a stock Glock. And this one is an MOS, but I've decided I don't really want to run a red dot on there because I have my Shadow Systems, I have my 34 if I need it, so yeah, it's just a stock 19 Gen 5 MOS. This one came into our store with some grip tape on there, and I actually really like it. It's not something I would buy for myself, but it's pretty nice on there. So just low texture grip tape, and then again, Streamlight TLR1HL, and you'll notice this one's not as bright either, but yeah, it's got a lot of rounds to it. So I feel like I shoot this pretty good. I seem to like the Gen 5s more than the Gen 4s with the no finger grooves. They both shoot great, but I definitely like the no finger grooves on the Gen 5s. And that's why I also think I like the Shadow Systems, because no finger grooves, and I can change the backstrap. So I think I have the smaller backstrap on there. I don't have the biggest hands, so it just works with me. And I know there's a lot of guys out there that are like, oh, I don't like Glock, I don't shoot them well. Well, you should still be able to shoot one if that makes sense. There's a lot of handguns that I'm like, well, I don't necessarily care for it, but I can shoot them all fairly decently. So, and handgun-wise, I try to have one or more from each major brand out there. I'm slowly collecting them all, but I do have a lot of the main handguns, or like the flagship handgun from a lot of these brands out there. So I don't have a Springfield. Well, I have a Springfield 1911, but I want to get their Echelon because that one seems cool. But SIG, I have the 320. Glock, I have all these. Smith, I have the MMP9. Beretta, I have the M9. I don't have Rugers. I don't really care for their handguns, but yeah, I have a bunch of different handgun brands. But yeah, 19 Gen 5 bone stock is probably one of the greatest handguns you can buy, just overall. It's good for concealment, good for battle belt, and it's very easy to shoot in my opinion. I don't really notice grip angle, even between gun companies. I don't notice grip angle that much when I shoot, but yeah, they shoot decent. So very good gun, and I like it, and it runs really well in here. So there's that, and I have one more Glock to show you guys. This is one I actually haven't shot yet, but it's pretty cool. At some point I'll shoot it. So in here, you guys may already know what this is. It is the Glock P80, and it's like a commemorative gun of their first gen. So comes in this fancy cardboard box with the original Tupperware box. That's dangerous if you put a loaded gun in there, because if it gets bumped, it can go off. So don't ever put a loaded gun in one of these Tupperwares. But yeah, this one's just cool. It's basically a stock 17, and yeah, it uses Gen 3 mags. They didn't remake any old magazine, but it's modern Gen 3 mags. And it's basically a Gen 3-ish, like as far as features go, minus the frame. So you have no rail. You have this very slick, no finger groove grip. It's got the little cut right here. And what's funny, because it reminded me of it, so this index cut is for your index finger, and people always want to plug the back hole, but that's so you can get your thumb in there in case you need to rip a mag out. Which back then, magazines were a lot like thicker, or they would swell. So sometimes you would have to rip a mag out. So I don't recommend that you plug this, just in case you ever had to rip a mag out. It's just nice to be able to get your finger in there. And that hole is not going to cause you any harm, so plugging it does nothing. But just my opinion. But yeah, cool gun. I'm sure it would shoot great, but it's just a stock 17-ish. But they do Gen 1 17s now, the Gen 1 Classic, because the P80 was a limited run, but they apparently had to make all the machines to make this gun. So the Glock 17 Gen 1 Classics are not doing so hot. They're pretty stale. We've had like 2 at our store for a while that are brand new. It was just, yeah, it didn't hit everyone's fancy. So if you're looking to get a P80, you can still get the Gen 1 17 Classic, which is just a remake of this. It just doesn't say P80 on the side, it says 17. So yeah, I mean, that's all the Glocks I have. Again, happy Glocktober. I know it's getting cool for some of you guys. And if you are looking for a new hoodie or jacket, I actually have some on my website. It's atroxco.com. And yeah, I just have a few hoodies left. So if you're looking to check those out, go check it out. I'm not going to wear one for you guys because it's still hot here. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I'm looking forward to it to finally cool down here in Arizona soon. So stay tuned for my next video.